and welcome to another episode of the Marriage Be Like podcast. I'm Kenya, and today I'm by myself. There's no Kenny, but in a few moments, you will see and hear some ladies with me on the panel today. We have our Marriage Be Like Mother's Day episode. So I will have 3 other women with me here on the panel, and we'll be discussing motherhood and relationships. So sit back, relax, and hopefully you'll get some information to help you through your mother journey. Let's go with our first question. What does motherhood mean to you? Anybody want to just jump on in?
Well, I'll start since...
Go right ahead.
I would say motherhood means to me legacy. And plus you get to see yourself reflected back to you.
Ooh.
What it means to me is just reflection, being able to raise 2 individuals to be a important part of society. So, that's what it means to me, just legacy and heritage, and also being able to pour into someone and then see what comes back.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my ones. Lynette, you want to say anything?
When I had my son, I felt like I had an opportunity to know what a love from a mother to a child felt like. And it was real to me. And it was also another thing as far as having children is the love of 2. I have a boy and a girl, and to see them in different light. But the creativity as a mother that I had to be, the different things, resilience, the representing them, being their voice for them, and it was just a whole thing. I did have worries throughout the different stages of their lives. As a baby, then as a teenager, even as adults, I still am concerned about my children. They always gonna be my babies. So I mean, love is just, I was able to experience like a true love from a mother to a child.
Yeah. You want to chime in, Tanisha? I know you was like that.
No, I was just saying start with them
first.
But yeah, I would say piggybacking off of what Lynette said, motherhood to me is being a protector. It was, when I had Janice, I was 23. So I was a young mother. And it was just me. And I could see how I reflect back on how my mom, because my mom, it was 4 of us. So, I had siblings, but Janice is just her, and it was just us, and we were quote unquote in our little bubble. But how much I knew that I would do to protect her, to make sure that nothing ever happened to her. And she is literally my twin. If you guys know my daughter, she is my twin. From looks to personality sometimes. So it's just motherhood. It's just amazing just to see like what they grow into, how they grow up, and from you pouring into them, how they turn out. So yeah.
I agree. I think when I think of the word motherhood, I think of, you actually said it, resilience.
Yes.
I think of what it means to me literally is everything, because what they don't have coming in is being adults. They don't have any life under their belt. So then you are their everything, and then they're yours for a while. And I didn't understand that, particularly growing up as a teenager.
Right.
I was just like, okay, I just don't want no mama right now. I just want to do me, But at the same time, once I had kids, I was like, oh, so this is how. Now I understand. So for me, I just dove hard into it. And it was really about putting everything into those people. And even putting myself aside. And then sometimes I was putting Kitty aside, I'm not going to lie. Because in my mind, he was an adult. He can handle himself. Right. Let me take care of them. Right. But in the end, it was really just about growing them into good men, good Christians, good people who are going to be decent in the community.
Yes.
And I felt like that was a serious task.
It's a serious task. I do want to add.
Go ahead.
I don't want to drag out the question anymore, but one thing big thing I forgot to mention is that Becoming a mother helped me understand Christ's love for us better
Yeah.
because those children will get on your last nerve. They do crazy stuff. They make mistakes.
Unconditional.
You do not stop loving them. It's not even a question to stop loving them. You just wanted to know, why did you do that? Why did you? Don't you? And then,
Do that.
just like we try to get our children to understand that we're coming from a place of love and they want to rebel, we do the same thing with our Heavenly Father. So it really was and then we get a chance to create, which is amazing, that we get to participate in such a phenomenal thing. So that's what motherhood also means. It's a Christ-child relationship.
Yeah. It's also a pruning. They'll get you to heaven now.
And they show you, you, and you don't like you, reflected back at you. You're like, hey, where did you get that from? I taught you to lie like that.
Right. Okay, so how do you normally celebrate Mother's Day? Because this is our Mother's Day podcast episode. So how do you normally celebrate Mother's Day?
Take me out somewhere to eat. You know, I want the day to be about me. You know, bring me, you know, a card, you know, some flowers, some edible arrangements, whatever you want to do, but make sure it includes taking me somewhere to eat.
I agree.
So, you know, and you know, like for me, you know, my husband will cook breakfast in bed, you know, it's just the little things. It doesn't have to be an elaborate thing, you know, I make a joke about it, but you know, just the focus on me, because I'm feel like, hey, you know, Janice, you know, she's not at home, but she need to make sure she come through. Like,
That is
hey.
correct.
So, yeah.
Mother's Day is for me. It's almost like just another day for me.
Really?
Just being real. Yeah. I try to get something from my mom and my mother-in-law. But for me, you know, sometimes my husband will cook something. Sometimes he'll get a card. Sometimes he just straight forgets. But it's okay. I'm okay with it because it's another day. He does some of those things like cooks and brings me food in bed and stuff like that on
All
a
through the
regular
year, yeah.
anyway. So Mother's Day is a special day, but it's more so I look at my own parents, my own mom and my mother-in-law.
Okay, yes.
What do I do on Mother's Day? That's the question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and definitely go out to eat for sure. And that's a chance for me to get something I've wanted all year, either a new curling iron hair dryer or something. I make sure I get a handheld gift. I'm very clear, and I'm always let them know exactly what I want, so they don't have to get the wrong thing. So I enjoy that, being able to get something in addition to Christmas time.
There you go.
That's right.
Yeah, for Mother's Day, for me, I want to be celebrated.
Yes.
Period. And whatever that means. It could be big, it could be small. But I want the full day. I want the full day.
Yes.
Because here's the thing. For me, it's about, and yes, my husband and my sons do things all year round.
Yeah.
And I don't have to say anything. But that ain't got nothing to do with Mother's Day. This is the day that's supposed to be mine. That's why it's called Mother's Day. And then also, it should be a day that they're celebrated, because if I don't train them to do it now, they won't for their wives.
Right.
So I want to make sure that happens. And also, I want to feel special on that day. I get Mother's Day and I get my birthday.
Okay.
2 days after the year, but I pour all the other times. So 2 days, y'all can do what I ask.
Yeah.
Or y'all can surprise me. I'm good with that.
That's right.
And back to what Lynette said, I agree. When my mother-in-law was alive, we celebrated her, and
Yes.
my mom. I try to make sure I focus on them as well when my mom's not out in the streets. You know,
know
my mom, she stays on the road. Yes, she's retired and loving it.
Yeah.
And I love that for her. So, but yes, to celebrate
Yeah.
them it's also a Mother's Day is what I look
Yeah,
forward to.
we always do. Now, my family isn't here, but my brother and I usually go in and get my mom something large.
Yeah.
She likes cash, so she can go shopping.
Get out herself, huh?
Okay, so how did becoming a mom change you?
Oh man. I'll go first on that one. It made me grow up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, it's totally different. I was never one to be like out clubbing and stuff, but I'm okay with being at home. It just literally made me grow up. You know, like I said, I was 23 when I had her. You shift from, it's no longer just me. Make sure I have this, I have that. Everything was now, okay, what am I going to do for us? How am I going to make sure this is taken care of for us? So yeah, it was a growing up experience for me, and I'm still growing. I mean, she's 26, and I'm still growing. You know, in different ways, because she doesn't need me as much
right.
as she did when she was smaller, but she does still need me because she's very spoiled. She's an only child, and it is what it is. But yeah, it was a growing up experience for me.
I think I went backwards in a way. I had my son at 19, and I was still living at home with my parents. I had a job. I had a pretty good job, and I loved that baby. I loved him. I don't know why though. He was a sickly child. He had asthma. He had eczema. He had allergies to almost every food there is. And so I spent a lot of time in the hospital, taking him to the hospital. But because I was in the home with my parents, they took care of him a lot. And my mom retired when I had him. And so it wasn't until I had him that I discovered the club. And man, I'm a dancer. I'm gonna tell you, I love to dance. And I would go out to the club. I would come home. My parents would be fussing at me. You got a baby to take care of. Fussing, give me the keys to your car, and stuff like that. So I went through that. And so I didn't get married until I was 22. And it was like once I got married is when I settled down.
Okay.
So yeah, it was when I got married that I settled down. And I had my daughter. I had my daughter too. So I had 2 kids before I was actually married. But I married my daughter's father, and it was like then that I realized I gotta grow up.
That's it.
Yeah, I gotta grow up. So.
Oh, me. I would say mother, let's see how it changed me. Oh,
Yes.
wow. I just never knew my heart could be so full. I was very protective. And it also brought some fear because, you go through that thing of, are they breathing? Are they breathing?
Yeah.
And my firstborn was asthmatic when we had ICU moments, so I was very protective, a little fear, and very proud. I felt like just accomplished, a big accomplishment. Because I didn't just, give birth, but I nursed for 2.5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I did. I was extra.
You a real one.
But I'm trying to tell you.
Put that in context, though. I did.
Thank you.
I did go to school for nutrition, and when part of that training, when I worked in New York I was a WIC nutritionist. We had lactation lessons. So when I learned about breastfeeding, I was blown away. I decided that's what I'm going to do. But it wasn't like I'm this super mother nature thing. It was education, and I was in that environment. But that's what it did for me. I didn't know I had such capacity for love, and it also helped me recognize that I had some disconnections. Didn't grow up in a home with it's lovey-dovey, and I think a lot of us could probably relate to that. It wasn't a lot of hugging. It wasn't like I just love you. No one doted on me. So when I became a mother, I learned also to speak up more, because the first thing they'll tell you, oh, don't you spoil that child. Don't you? And that did not make sense to me, to have a child crying. I'm going to pick them up. So I learned to have my own voice. That taught me something with motherhood, protection, dealing with fear, and feeling accomplished.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing for me, all of the things that y'all said, but more piggybacking on you, Adria, mine was learning my community.
Okay.
Because I was in my 20s too, but I was already married, and we kind of planned the oldest. We planned him, and then we changed our mind, and then he came. I was like, okay, well, here we go. So I had to kind of shift my brain back to, okay, well, we're going into motherhood. But then also, it was so, we lived here. And so Adrian was in New York, so I didn't have nobody. It was just, okay. Now, I initially came down here and I was by myself and I was cool. But then once I had the kid, I was like, oh, I need some more people around me, because I grew up around community. And so that's when I realized church is going to be my community, and literally was. My kids still call everybody mama because they know that they can.
That's wonderful.
But that's what it taught me. And that also my other thing was probably more on the protection side. Because I had a hard pregnancy with the first one. The second one was an easy pregnancy, but he was a sickly kid. So you never know it today, but he was very sickly, and we were in the hospital the first 4 years of his life. And it taught me my voice because I had to speak up.
Yeah.
One example, Caleb was a week old. We went to the hospital because he had RSV. I didn't know what his problem was, but he wasn't breathing consistently. So I still had, now I just given birth. He wasn't even a week old, was he?
No.
And I still had my wristband on from the hospital. But because he's light skinned, he had blue eyes, he had blonde hair, she was with me. They thought he was hers because of her complexion and her hair color.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there in pain, crying, and they gave all the information to Adria.
I never remember that.
I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So that, I know, it wasn't your fault, it was their fault. But that made me speak up. And so I could barely move because I just had a C-section. There wasn't a lot of movement happening. But it made me say, okay, you know what? Somebody's got to do something for this baby.
Yeah.
And I realized it wasn't just him. I had to speak up for myself.
Right. Wow.
Okay, next question. Look, I'm sitting back. I'm the one reading the questions. Okay. What things you decided to pass down or not pass down from your parents?
Ooh, wait.
Right,
You went
right.
first. I don't think
Okay.
you've ever gone first.
Okay. Okay. My mom was very about taking care of business. You know, you take care of, you make sure you got car insurance, you make sure the bills are paid. I passed that down. My mom passed it down to me. I passed it down. I tried to pass it down to both of my kids, but only one of them got it. The girl was the one to get it. My son still don't have it, and he's almost 38 years old. So my son has my personality. He's more playful, silly. My daughter is more serious. She tries to act like she's my mother, especially since she was in the military.
Oh.
And that made her even extra my mother, you know. And so I always send her these little memes and stuff with the cat laughing, and it's like my daughter with the serious face, and she's the dog with the serious face, or the cat with the serious face, and then me just just laughing, because that's just how it is.
Yeah.
It seems like she grew up, and I stayed like in place, you know, like became a teenager, and she was the adult. My son is he just is more playful, you know. Like I said, he's silly, but he likes to argue. And he got a lot of mouth. Now, I did pass that down to him. So I passed down something good to her. But to my son, I was very mouthy with my mom. My mom, I got a lot of smacks in the face and in the mouth.
I can relate.
It's just what it was.
Right.
And so they said it was a saying that whatever you are to your children, the children gonna be like 7 times worse. You know.
My mama told me 10.
Oh yeah, it was 7 or 10, and my son is to the next level all the way. I mean, I would be driving down the road trying to reach to the back and grab him, driving down the road, you know. I mean, one time I literally had to get out the car and tell him to get out. Get out of the car. I wouldn't drive away, but get out of the car right now. And so that was like with my son, and he still will argue, and that's unfortunate. But I guess it's just payback, you know. But one thing I didn't do is my mom with that smacking in the face and that smacking in the mouth. I wouldn't do that. I didn't do that with my kids. That used to anger me so much to get smacked in the face. And I'm sure I deserved it, but it made me. Don't the Bible say you ain't supposed to push right. But yeah, so that was something that I didn't do with my kids. They did get spankings and stuff. I wasn't about the timeout. They got the belt or they got my hand, but it was never in the face or the mouth. So that's
Anybody else?
I'd say I did pass down I tried to, pass down the importance of having a relationship with the Lord. Because my mom, we grew up, we had worship in the morning before we left. That was the first thing when we got up. She would get us up. We go in the living room, have worship. Nothing superseded that. We could be running late. We're still going to have worship. And then we had worship in the evenings. It and every day, didn't miss a beat. You know, it doesn't matter. You could be sleepy. You could have fallen asleep in your room. Just come on in the living room and have worship. That was, you know, so I tried to instill that in Janice. But one thing I did not pass down, I mean, I know it's a different time, different generation, you know, the because I said so type thing, not being able to have, you can express yourself, but you don't have to be disrespectful. But I would allow her to express herself. Now growing up, it was just like if my mama, it was considered talking back.
Yes.
You know, whether
Yes.
you were being disrespectful or
Yes.
not,
Trying to
growing up,
voice
did
was
not,
considered
yeah,
that. Yes.
it was not as easy to say, well, this is how I feel. You a child, you don't have no feelings. It's what I say, it's what I say.
Yeah.
You know, so I tried to give her the space to be able to say, well, mommy, I don't agree with that, or mommy, this is how I feel. And sometimes she may have tried to take a mile, but you know, she now I feel like that helps her because she is very outspoken. If she does not like something, she will let you know. She doesn't have, I never had to worry about her being bullied or anything in school or growing up. She will tell you how she feels, and sometimes she'll tell you how to get there. So, you know, we working on that. But, you know, that was one thing I said growing up. I wanted to be able, not growing up, once I had my child, I said I wanted to make sure she was able to express herself without feeling like I'm gonna get popped in the mouth. Cause like you, Lynette, I didn't really get spankings growing up because I feared my mother, but I did have a smart mouth. So I got popped in the mouth, and I deserved it. But it wasn't very right. Now that I look back, but at the time, but yes, so definitely.
She said she still don't agree.
I don't think any child should be popped in the mouth.
Yeah, well, I mean, Janice, you know, that's where we differ. Janice got popped in the mouth too because I passed the smart mouth down, so she didn't really get spankings because she really was a good child. Sometimes she just, you know, start feeling herself. You know, you have to remind her. But yeah, I wanted to be able to pass down being able to speak your mind respectfully without having a fear of doing that.
I agree.
That's good. Well, what I wanted, what I
Speak good.
passed down and wanted to pass down. So definitely a relationship with Christ. I don't know how you begin to navigate life without having that anchor and that higher, you have to answer to something. Why not Christ? I mean,
Right.
so that was the first thing. I grew up with, I guess my mom, I guess it was her effort to keep me humble because I didn't understand that my eyes were different color, for example. So everywhere I go, people would comment about my eyes. And I asked my mom one day, like, why do people keep saying things about my eyes? Oh, I don't know. So her thing was always keeping me, so that messed with my self-esteem. And it caused me, I was raised with a lot of fear, like, don't go outside, don't stay out past dark. And, you know, someone may grab you, you know. So it was a lot of fear and it was a lot of misunderstanding. I would get in trouble for stuff and I could not understand why I was in trouble. No one explained to me. And it was, to me, it was innocent, simple things like one time Tanya and I got lost in the store and we went outside the store to look for your mom and my mom. And boy, did we get another one ripped in us like, you don't ever go out. You could have snapped. We had no clue. And there were a lot of things that if you just sat down and explained it to me as a child, I would have gotten it. But it was always this, you know, threatened to get a spanking or you were in trouble. So I decided to pass down to my children the ability to talk and know that you'll be heard.
Yes.
So you explain, and I was always interested in their little 3-year-old conversations. I wanted to know if someone bothered them. So I was really into that. So I say I passed down good communication skills. And I also passed down good self-esteem. I remember telling one of my children, so are you a horse? No, I'm not a horse. So if someone called you a horse, would you get upset and agree with it? So I used that to parallel what if someone called you stupid or ugly or something like that. So I trained them to have a strong confidence in themselves. I passed down my sense of humor, which they are times
Silly.
5 on that. Good grief, to the point where, will y'all be serious? Stop playing, stop playing. They are each other's best friends and they are clowns. Also passed down good nutrition habits. We didn't grow up eating a lot of crazy stuff and they now are on their own. So the youngest one sends me pictures, broccoli and salad and omelet, stuff that he's cooking that he's not eating out. So I passed that.
That's proud.
Things I passed that maybe, I wouldn't say it was me. I would say it was that that other half that I was married to, that bad part.
You can say it is.
Yeah, I think because they say, according to Dr. Phil, that the same-sex parent has the same effect on the same-sex child. So my children are both boys, and to me, I see a little bit of undermining when I want something or I express something. They take it a little lighter than I like. They kind of, the oldest one especially, kind of comes at me like he's my authority, like he's the man. And I'm like, look, you're still the child. And he'll recommend stuff for me and tell me what I need to do.
You, though.
Right. And so I have to kind of remind him that I am still going to be I'm going to always know more than you. And so he does not come to me for advice. There's a lot of advice he could use for me, but he doesn't. It's sort of like he has this pride. So, but other than that, those are things I pass down to my children. Yeah.
I'm not going to answer every question. We're going to keep it moving. Okay. How does balance play a part in motherhood? So, house, career, self-care, etc.
Okay,
I would say balance. Well, balance. I'll go back to the earlier years because now I have a different type of balance.
Yes.
Well, I was fortunate at the time. I was at home with my children, so and so it was. I just did all the mother stuff, the school lunches, the homework, the meeting with the teacher. I was able to do that. So the balance for me was I didn't have an outside job at the time. And my heart goes out to single moms and to people who don't have that balance or that support. So for me, balance was not having an outside job because it was just a lot, so that was balance for me. And then every now and then I would just leave the house.
You got
to even to the point where I would every blue moon I'd stay in a hotel for a weekend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and when they were bigger and they weren't nursing, big time left them. That was big.
Big time left them.
Yes.
Well, for me, balance in work, I was blessed to have jobs that allowed me to be able, when I met Kenya at a job, she was the assistant director at the daycare that I worked. So Janice was there. So I was able to, if something was wrong, of course I could see her. And then beyond that, jobs I've been able to, hey, I need to leave, this is going on, or, so that was a good thing. I've always been blessed to have a job where it didn't interfere with if I needed to do something with Janice. Now, like you said, it is a different type of balance. So now it's balance with my husband, because we both work, and I travel a lot for my job, and sometimes I'm out. So it's just a matter of when I'm not at work, I'm not thinking about work because I have people who report to me, and sometimes my phone is ringing, and he's like, "That's your work phone," So you have to try to have a good balance as far as with work. So it's no more with Janice, but now it's just with Rico. So.
With me, in my first marriage, I had a lot of challenges, a lot. And I'm not going to go through all of that because that's like books and volumes. And but my husband, my ex-husband, my husband at the time, was not my son's father. So there were a lot of challenges in that first marriage, especially him as a child. Now, we got married, he was about 4. He was 3 or 4 years old. And my ex-husband came from a very disciplinary type background. And my son was not hard-headed where he needed that hard discipline. You could talk to him and he would, So there was a lot of hard times dealing with that and trying to balance, okay, that's my son. I got to protect my son. And then, I'm just going to put it out there because it is what it is. We used to get into physical fights and it would be over something dealing with my son.
Yeah.
I still to this day have regrets because I feel like I didn't protect my son. I think that's part of why he's got anger issues.
Okay.
And I think that that's part of the things that maybe I didn't do as a mother to protect him because I'm like, okay, I'm the wife now. Is he trying to play me against? He's trying to be his daddy, you know. And it was just hard. It was a very difficult thing, and most of our arguments were about my son Chris, and so I have apologized to Chris even as an adult and said, baby, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I didn't do more to protect you. I just it was just hard. You know, I don't even know how to
You were
really
young
explain
too.
it.
You said you were 22 when you married.
22. But I was a fighter, you know. I was like, you gonna do something that's going and I'm gonna jump at you, you know what I mean? And I just, so it was just difficult. Now he wasn't like that with my daughter. He kind of felt like girls shouldn't get beatings. We call them beatings. Some people call them whipping. Some people call them spankings. They all the same to me. You know, he
Right. It's a different name.
but he felt like girls shouldn't get it, but boys should. And I was like, no, the girls get it just as well as the boys. You know, they're going to get it. If they do wrong, they're going to get it. And so, we had issues with that. Now my daughter, she wasn't very mouthy. She was kind of quiet. So she didn't really give me a hard time. So as far as them growing up and the balance, seemed like never a balance. I it was always some kind of struggle, always some kind of sacrifice that I had to make, with having a husband, being a mother, and it was just hard. I don't know why my story is so, but my story is my story. It's a journey
Yes.
I took, and it was some of the decisions that I made, and that was my journey. So there was really not a balance. We grew up loving the Lord, in the Lord. We had prayer. I had prayer with the kids, even when my ex-husband wasn't in the church. I still prayed with my kids every day. We still continued to go to church. But it was just difficult. I mean, and so, and unfortunately, it was noticeable to other people. And my mom felt like she had to step in, and it caused like my mom and
More
my
problems.
husband was fussing. That because he didn't want to come home, she wanted to come and get him all the time. It was a lot of drama I had in my life, and so this was in Baltimore, and where I'm from, and so it was just a lot, and so we moved down here, and there was still issues. They didn't go away because my son, he started growing up, started feeling himself, started smelling himself, and
Teenage years.
that was there were more problems still, and people in church would notice. I didn't find that out until after we were divorced. They were like, "Yeah, we noticed how your husband."
I know I was one.
Yeah, and so it was difficult, and so that's I'm trying to make a long story short, but
I think in general it's hard to find balance though.
Yeah.
You have to look at all the aspects of life, and you were on this side as far as the podcast, because Adrian and I both stayed home, but y'all two worked, and you had a flexible job, but you didn't have a flexible job. So I think it is hard, and depend upon who you are and what you have and what cards life gave you.
Yeah.
You just have to try to find the balance in it and do the best you can.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is, how can moms maintain identity while pouring into others?
I think you have to be honest. I know you have to be honest with your children. With my son, I told him why. I said, these are some, when he was a teenager, I told him why he may be some of what. Let me go back. I tried to explain to him why he may be like he is. I
Got it.
told him about his dad. I never was like, your daddy was no good. I didn't believe in shaming his dad.
Good.
His dad died when he was very young. But I never put his dad down even when he was alive. I did tell my son, you have a little bit of you got my blood and you got your daddy's blood. And so this is maybe why you are the way you are.
Yes.
You have some of my ways, you have some of his ways, to try to help him to understand himself. I didn't want to try to paint myself as that I was just this angel of a child. I was rebellious. My mom gave me a picture of herself and wrote on the back of it, "To my loving but rebellious child."
Oh,
I was rebellious. That might be why I'm still the way I am. But I just feel like you have to be honest with your children, and you could still be who you are. You know, this is me. I am who I am. I met up with my daughter yesterday, and I came in there yelling for her because I couldn't find her, and I'm yelling in the store. And she said she was in a bookstore, and she was like, "Ma, I'm over here," and she was like, "Why you got to be so?" I said, "I am who I am.
Right.
This is me." And so I just feel like just being yourself, finding yourself first of all, because I lost myself in my first marriage. I lost who I really was. And it wasn't until I got divorced and I just started just later in life, I started trying to figure out who Lynette really is.
Yes.
And what you see is what you get, like Wilson said. And that's just what it is.
Anybody else want to tackle it?
I think, like Lynette said, you do have to be honest. You have to know yourself. And just for me, it's having a routine. Like me, I feel like I shouldn't just work to pay bills. So for me, I get my hair done every 2 weeks. I get my nails done every 3 weeks. That's just me. That's for me. That helps me. And if I want to buy an outfit, I'll do it. I'll make sure that everything is taken care of, but I don't want to lose myself. Like, and if you know me, I travel. That's my thing. I like to travel, So I feel as long as I can make sure if I'm good, then everybody else is going to be good. I can be the best mom I need to be for Janice. I can be the best wife I need to be for Rico if I'm taken care of, because I feel like Lynette said, some women lose themselves when they get married. You're excited or, whatever, or you want to be the perfect wife. No, I feel like you need to stay true to yourself, and and not to say that things don't need to be compromised and you don't need to work on some things, because nobody is perfect, but keep your core values in how you feel about yourself and what you've been doing. Don't just change up. So as long as you're true to yourself and you need to know yourself first of all. That's true. Stick with that, then you're able to pour into everybody who you need to pour into, as far as your children and your spouse.
That's true.
So
you want to tackle it? I saw you open your mouth. You can say something.
Very brief. Just pretty much piggybacking on what they're saying, being honest with yourself. I would say for me, what's the question? Staying connected, not losing my identity. What's the question?
Wait, I done switched cards. Hold on. Oh, how can you maintain your identity when pouring into others?
Yeah, like just being honest. And for me, I would say it's kind of meditating. It's not full meditation, but just taking some time to reflect. I like nature. I like watching birds. I like the results of the gym. I may not just say, "Oh, I got to go to the gym," but when I go to the gym, it's like me time. This is me in the gym, so that helps keep me, balanced and connected to myself.
Okay. All right. So this one is for you, Tanisha. Discuss the pros and cons of single parenting.
Oof. Okay. Some of the pros, you have your little mini me. It's just the two, because I had a girl, of course, but it's just the two of you. She's like my little broke best friend. We get to, especially now that she's older. Of course, when she was younger, it was all about her, but now that she's older, we can actually do more things together. Like, so now she travels with me.
Yes.
When she can, because her job not as flexible, but she can do that, or she be like, "Mom, let me take you out this time." It's just a little thing. So that's definitely a pro. It's the bond that you have. Now, some of the cons is she is my broke best friend.
It's a pro and a con.
Right. That's a pro and a con. But no, seriously, I would say, what's a con? I mean, you don't have as much time to yourself when they're younger.
Yeah.
It's really all about them. You make sure that they're taken care of. Sometimes you have to go without, especially as a single mom. She will never know some of the sacrifices, that I had to make as a single mom. And like Lynette said, I never talk bad about her father. I just let his actions speak for themselves, So now that she's 26, she knows, but I never, spoke bad, even, he in the sporadic visits or whatever. But I would say that's the biggest con is the real sacrifices that you made that are behind the scenes, But the pros are the appreciation. She has grown into a beautiful adult. I wouldn't trade her for anything. She's doing her own thing, you know. She's shot out. She got her own little business. In case y'all want to know Jay's Luscious Lips, y'all can go online and order some stuff, you know. And she's a productive,
the lip gloss all the time. I'm faithful.
Right. She's a productive adult, you know. She comes to church. Not that matters as far as making her a good or bad person, whether she goes to church, but she's still those roots that were planted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she always knows she can always go to church if, you know,
Yes,
something comes up, if anything. But yeah, so those are the pros and cons for me. I loved motherhood. I still do. You know, when she was little, you know, I had a community as well. So, you know, there were struggles, but I did not struggle as much as others. You know, New Life embraced us when I originally was I was a member of Madison Mission when I was pregnant because I was at Oakwood. I was at Oakwood and then I'd gone to Madison Mission because that was the thing, Doggett was there.
yes.
You know, so after I had Janice, that's where my membership was. Even though I was not at Oakwood anymore. I transitioned out of that. But and then I met Kenya and
I lured you into New Life.
right,
That's what happened.
absolutely. And she was like, "Oh, you should come." And when people say, like, anytime people stand up and say, "Hey, I transfer here because New Life is very loving," I totally agree. They were so nice to me. You know, I'd gone to other churches and, you know, you get the looks, oh, she's coming in, she's got a baby on her hip, but I don't see a man, you know, or she don't have a wedding ring on her finger, you know. So I've gone to other churches and I've gotten the looks, but I never felt that at Oakwood. Everybody was always so nice, you know. I came and I was offered, like, you want to join the usher team? You know,
Wait,
so
at
it
Oakwood
was
or at New Life?
No, New Life. Did I say Oakwood?
You said Oakwood.
I'm so sorry.
Let me make that correction.
Let me correct that. New Life Seventh-day Adventist Church, okay?
On Pulaski Pike.
Right, on Pulaski Pike. Absolutely. No, so they were so loving and so kind. Janice, you know, the Henleys took her in. You know, they were taking her on vacations with them. I never experienced that. You know, I'm like, hey, we gonna go to Disney when mommy can afford to go to Disney.
Yeah.
But the family and the love and the genuineness of it was just, you know, so, and I haven't left since.
Right, that's what made me
Yeah.
came and say.
Yeah,
Yes.
I came and I've stayed and I don't plan on going anywhere. So New Life is a very loving family and that was a part of my community and that helped me, you know, to say, hey, you know, you can do this. You know, because being a single mom is no joke. I don't care what anybody says. No, all the community and everything, it's still hard. It's still hard being a single mom.
Yeah. It actually takes us right into the next question. How has faith, purpose, and values played a part in motherhood? So, Adrian, you want to start?
How is faith and purpose
And values played into motherhood?
I would say it's everything. For me, it was my guidance. It was my center. So it played a lot. I mean, prayer gives you answers. So I would say it was an anchor. It was very crucial. It played a crucial part, you know,
Yeah,
for me.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I will give one example briefly. When I had the first son, I had a difficult time establishing nursing. It was terrible, and he was losing weight. And in the North, they don't promote it like they do in the South. So in the North, they gave him a bottle kind of behind my back, and he wasn't latched on. And when I tell you, utter despair, you feel so inadequate. And then you had everybody in your ear, that baby, he ain't the right color. He ain't the right size. You just give up this nurse. Everybody can't nurse. You just ain't making enough. It's okay. And I could not shake the fact that no, they're wrong. I know I can do this. And it's just prayer that got me that confidence. And then someone said, why don't you see you can see a nurse lactationist in your insurance. And that was a game changer. But I had never heard of a nurse and a lactationist together. And that's the only way insurance would pay for it at that time. And she just was a heaven sent. But at the end of the day, if it wasn't for prayer, if it wasn't for that faith centeredness that I knew God created my body to provide, and that feeling of failure, I'm like, I just can't live with this. So prayer is what got me I fed the child. I ended up giving him formula.
Right.
But he did get fully established. And I did take the formula back because he just children just do better on what they're made to eat. So faith
Okay.
helped me, a lot.
So the next question, I'm going to have y'all speak because both of y'all grandmothers. As children grow into adults and seeing those milestones,
Oh my gosh.
how did that help y'all? But speak to it from a grandparent perspective. How did y'all feel with the milestones?
With the grandchild growing up, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Versus your children.
Oh my goodness. First of all, if you're not a grandparent, you have no idea how much your heart will open. Oh my goodness. I'm crazy about my grandson. He's going to be 4 in May. Not ideal circumstances. I don't get to see him like I want to, but oh my goodness, I see it through a different lens. When you have your children, it's kind of like, oh, don't do that. Why are you doing that? Sit down. Why are you so whatever? We're a little bit more uptight. With the grandchild, it's quite entertaining. It is pure entertainment just to see them experience the world through their eyes. It is so much fun. I love it. I would say grandchild versus child, a lot more calmer, a lot more understanding. So when he does something, it's not being a bad boy. He's a boy. He's just gonna run to walls. He's gonna get into your stuff, and he's gonna, So it's fun. I love it. I'm just calm and play right there with him.
Well, I have 2 grandboys, 5 and 9. And I believe I love my grandkids more than I love my own children.
You think that way? Yes, I understand.
Those boys mean so much to me. They're little country boys now. They wild. They wild.
Feral boys.
I have to remember that. Okay, when I say country boys, if they have to go to the bathroom, they will go right there outside, right in front of the house. I'm like, okay, but they are my boys. They're my babies. My daughter could be coming home from work and I'll say, let me hear their response as you come in. Keep me on the phone, It's just, because she lives about an hour away.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish that I could just be off and just keep the kids, have them go to school up here and everything. But you do have to be ready. Like when I don't have them like every weekend, and then when I do have them, I got to take a nap. Those boys are full of energy, but I love them. They're so precious to me, and everything they do, I want to be a part of it. My 5-year-old is getting ready to start kindergarten, so he'll be going to school with his brother, and they'll both be playing football this year. So I'm so excited. I'm excited about every single thing. I want to be a part of everything they do. Even when they tell me, I got to tell you this story. So when my grandson was the oldest one, when he was in probably like the 1st grade, he goes to public school, so they ride the little school buses and stuff. And so he came and he told me, they call me Gaga. He said, Gaga, I saw the middle finger boys at school. I said, the middle finger boys? What in the world? He said, yeah, the middle finger boys. I said, oh yeah? Well, I'm coming down to that school. And when they put their little middle fingers up, I'm going to bend them back. He said, Gaga, you can't do that. You can't do that. He straightened me out. He said, I don't know if he's going to go to heaven. I was like, oh, Lord.
Let me straighten up.
I was like, okay, let me get myself together. And I called their mother because I said, let me call because they're going to go call and they're going to go home and they're going to tell their mother.
You done went Baltimore on the kids.
Like, I want to protect them. And it's like anything that happens to them, I'm coming. I will fight children. I will fight them. I was like that with my kids. Like, I'm coming when my daughter had some issues with some boy at school. I said, I'm coming up to that school. And I'm going to sit right there where he told you couldn't sit. With my arm leaning on a baseball bat. And I'm going to dare him. Let me just kind of reel it in. I love my grandkids, and I will do anything for them, and I'm so thankful for them. I hate the world that they have to deal with. I hate this some of them, and my grandchildren are mixed, and so they have different things that they will face in life. I know they will face them in life. I had to face things just because this is life.
Yes.
But the world that we live in today, I hate that they have to deal with different things that people are mean. People are cruel. Children can be cruel. And, I want to pay them back. I want to give it, but I know that I can't, I gotta contain myself, But, I just, always I pray for my children and my grandchildren. So I'll just shut up now.
All right. What advice would you give to new moms?
Ooh.
Anybody want to tackle it?
Oh, let me tackle that one. I would say, trust your instincts. Don't just think you get it wrong. Try to be careful about too many people in your ear. If you instinctively want to hold that baby and rock that baby, don't worry about spoiling them. That's not possible, really. Not in that sense.
Right.
Now, if you don't discipline them and don't allow them to experience consequences, then that's spoiling. But holding them and reassuring them, they just come out of a womb to a noisy world.
Yeah.
I mean, really, I would say try to put yourself in the shoes of a child. Try to see things at their level. Try to not become a child, but listen to them. And there's always some wisdom and truth. I think that children bring a special spirit about them. What they lack in knowledge, they are just raw and honest.
Yes.
So I would say, listen to them, give them a voice, talk back to them. I would say, play with them more. Children are very exhausting, but find ways to let them run wild in a park. And, you give them a little time. They don't require so much, is that we put them off. They keep coming at us. So my advice to a young mom, and if you can, I'm a lactationist advocate. If you can give them the food they're designed for, you would probably never have an ear infection with that child. Wow. Probably no breathing issues. My children were not sick. Oh, a funny story. So when my oldest son slipped up and made a child, that's what I'm going to say. The funniest thing, he was on to the mother about breastfeeding. He never talked to me. He was animate. Told her he never got sick. I was like, and
you pay attention to.
Yes, and she breastfed him. She listened to him, and he was he is very as much as he can be with him. He is. I never thought I'd see him open up when he became a father. It was just like, that's Joshua. So he loves being a father. But that's what I would tell a new parent, to listen, to hold them, because they grow so fast. They'll start off asking you questions because they want to know. Then they'll switch to asking you questions because they think you don't know. And that's when you want to kind of put hands on somebody.
Yeah.
Right. And to add to that real quick, I would say accept help. Don't be ashamed to accept help. And don't be so hard on yourself. It's we learn every day as moms and dads, so
that's good.
That's important to understand, we're all learning. There's some things are right and wrong answer, but for the most part, we're taking it day by day as parents and as moms. So
I agree.
And briefly, I feel like you are your child's advocate.
yes.
You have to stand up and be that voice for your child. You just have to.
Okay, so thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much, so much. Thank you again for watching and for listening to the Marriage Be Like podcast and for our Mother's Day edition. We hope that you enjoyed yourself and learned something that could help you through your Mother's Day journey. Happy Mother's Day to all those mothers. And if you listen to us on Thursday, you listen to us on envision-radio.com, and we air there on 4 o'clock Thursdays Eastern Time and 3 o'clock Central Time. You can come check us out at our website at marriagebelike.com and subscribe to our podcast there. You you can subscribe, and also make sure that you listen to us, or you can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. If you'd like to get our 30-day devotional, you can email us at kennyandkenya@marriagebelike.com, and you can request that we will actually autograph a book and send to you, okay? And that devotional is called Echoes of Faith. It is a 30-day devotional. It is not dated, and so then you can read it and then reread it any 30 days. Shout out to our son, KEG Beats, for the music that you hear right now. Marriage Be Like Podcast is a production of Green Room Entertainment. We are an award-winning videography company, multimedia company, and you can check us out at our website there, greenroomentertain.com. Thank you again for listening and for watching. Have a good week. Bye-bye.